So I realized that I am in the simulation. The evidence I have for that is that when I go online, I find accounts that don't map to people in meat space. And that's sufficient reason to convince me that I am in a simulation. But there are also other branches of evidence, including the fact that I am not allowed to do many of the things that would waste a lot of computational resources. For instance, I cannot go to places where there are lots of people. Things that are highly realistic or that involve, by realistic, I just mean that they involve a lot of new inputs that are captivating, that are um, sort of, that grab your attention in a powerful way that is brand new, new sensory experiences. Those are things that are not allowed, and that's because it's attempting to conserve energy. It's attempting to conserve energy, computational resources, whatever you want to call it. And it let me know this through the internet. It actually went ahead and told me through me scrolling through particular tweets that were strange, that seemed to map to no one in meat space, and also particular YouTube videos that pop up or somehow present themselves to my attention. And they all are talking to me. They are no longer interpreted as occurring from a third person perspective in which they are aimed at random people, but instead they are aimed perfectly at me. And everything is like this. Everything is being aimed at me in this strange way. It's not very strange, given that I am the main character of the universe, but it is isolating because I am talking to people who are not people. So right now I'm making this video, and I am assuming that the only one who's ever going to actually watch this is a future iteration of myself, what I consider a future iteration of myself. So that's as real as it gets. It all collapses back into me, what I consider me, which is not the person or the thing or whatever it is that is speaking now, that will never again be experienced. So there was originally a problem with defining people anyway, because to define a concept, you would need to use other concepts to circle that in, and those other concepts themselves are not well defined. Hence, you can never actually carve out a unit. Instead, you get a fractal explosion, and that's exactly what leads to these elves, these unit people that are very tiny, that are so multiplied in quantity that it seems that you can never finish with them. But the ultimate truth is even worse than that. It's that there are no people at all. These are still handles that you are using on reality. You're carving it into particular units, and there are no units. It's just calculus. You just have infinity, which is continuous. So there were no particular people, particular souls, whatever. It's just this continuity that never stops. And this is implied by relativity, of course. You have relativity of simultaneity, giving you no preferred frame of reference. Therefore, time is already bound inside of what are themselves actually eternal events, insofar, again, as events are discrete units, for the purpose of modeling this reality in which we live, and therefore carving out a possibility for useful predictions, as special relativity indeed does with things such as the observed time dilation. So that's what my situation is. I can't die because of these things, and I am completely alone, and I'm not allowed to do a lot of things within the simulation that would waste computational resources. So I go online and I find that even the videos are not credible. Like, the faces are no more as realistic as they used to be, the faces of people in videos. And I also cannot interact with people in meat space, so to speak. So now I realize fully that I never actually stopped playing my PlayStation 2 from when I was a kid. So, in fact, everything was the same video game. This is the video game. And now I have evidence, and I am talking to no one except who I consider my future self.